We have the ability, the power to write our own life. You see, we've always wrote books throughout history. We've always put things on paper so that way we could physically see it. And I want you to do something today, right? I want you to write who you know you are inside, how you view yourself, and just be radically honest with yourself. And then write who you want to be. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just your virtues, your attributes. Do you want to be more disciplined? What does that look like? Do you want to be more charismatic? What does that look like? Do you want to be more confident? What does that look like? And then choose to define yourself that way. The moment that you choose to be self-defined, to define yourself, is the moment that you could build out the life that you want with hardly any resistance. I'm not saying you're not going to deal with any doubts or fears or those thoughts, but you'll feel a lot lighter while dealing with these things, and you'll actually find yourself a lot more productive, a lot less internal battles, a lot less war and negotiation with yourself. You'll let go of performing. You'll let go of things that that don't hold up to your standards, people that don't hold up to your standards, because it won't be aligned with who you want to be. And the moment you stop letting other people or things in your life, moments in your life, define you, you'll begin to win in your life. I mentioned 3 things right there: life, people, and moments. Many men look at their life and say to themselves, wow, how did I get here? And it's because you've allowed life and circumstances to define you. You go by your title at your job instead of your name. Yeah, I'm Joe from so and so company. I'm a salesman. And when people attack that title, you feel attacked. Why? Why would you feel attacked if that's just something you do? Unless you linked your self-image, your identity to that title. That's life defining you. Someone saying that, oh, you're not a leader, or you're not confident. Allowing people to tell you what you are and what aren't. And the last one is the hardest one to deal with. Allowing moments to define you. We all fail. We all go through a breakup. We all go through something where we did not meet our standard. And we fail and we fall. But the way we frame our losses is how affected we are by it. You should get to the point where you lose, you take it as data. You say, okay, I fucked up here, but how do I pivot and how do I get back? But when you lose and you feel, shit, see, you're not good enough. You isn't shit. And you just shame yourself and talk shit to yourself. See, I don't know why we even tried. We're not good enough. See, I told you you weren't worth it. Bro, how are you ever gonna win? You're putting all this pressure on yourself. Yes, you're competent. Yes, you're ambitious. But you're not perfect. And these moments of failure, these moments where you didn't meet your standard, do not define you. And the faster you let it go, the easier it is to get back up. The easier it is to recover. You know, I used to beat myself up every single time I would go out and eat junk food. Right? Like when I was getting my nutrition in check, I would eat out like 3 or 4 times a week. I'll be like, oh, see, bro, you're fucking fat. See, this is why you're fucking fat. Oh, shit. Like, I had no self trust. I had no belief. And until I stopped associating junk food with a meaning, basically meaning that I used to associate letting go of junk food as letting go of a good time. Because me growing up as a kid, I loved to eat junk food with the people that I loved. And that would stop me from letting go. Because at that point, I felt like I would be an outcast. I felt like I would be misunderstood. I didn't want to feel left out. So I would continue to eat junk food. And one day I said to myself, I'm like, I don't need to bond over food to enjoy life, to enjoy the people that I love. Especially not over junk food, especially when it causes me to shame myself and betray myself. And since then, I don't remember the last time I went to a fast food joint. And when I stopped letting those moments of shame define me, when I stopped shaming myself and talking shit to myself, that pressure, that I was finally able to breathe, and I would just soothe myself. I'll tell myself, okay, we're gonna go from 4 times to 3 times. Eventually it became 3 times for a while, and I eventually started getting sick of it. Then it became 2 times. Then it became 1 time. Now it's none. I don't eat fast food. But it took me time. It took me time to let go of those things. It took me time to really define myself. And the way I started to define myself is that I'm a man who loves himself. I'm a man who knows that his body is like a Ferrari. If I don't give it the right fuel, I'm not going to be able to perform the way I need to. And I'm a high performer. I get a lot of things done throughout my day. I have a lot of output. And when I don't eat good, I don't feel good. And I don't feel good, I don't want to be producing. I don't want to be producing when I have mental fog. It makes it 10 times harder. Why make my life harder? I'm someone who enjoys the hard path, the narrow path. That's my life. But when it's things that are inconsistent with who I am, I love myself. Therefore, I'm going to tell myself the truth. And I'm going to take care of myself. Okay, that means I shouldn't be eating food that is going to destroy my body. That's incongruent with who I am. Okay, let me start letting go of it. So these moments where you have failed, you gotta let them go. You gotta forgive yourself. And it's one of the hardest things. See, forgiving other people for me has always been much easier, but forgiving yourself, especially when you're so competent, like when you know better and you just do the opposite, you just fuck it up, for me, it still pisses me off. But at least I could get over it the same day rather than letting myself be ashamed for sometimes it was months on end. And I get so frustrated. Why the fuck can I do it? They shouldn't be this fucking hard, especially like when it came with cold approaching. Like the nutrition part was not that bad, but I know people struggle with nutrition. But when it came to cold approaching, like I used to define myself by those moments of failure. And you gotta let that shit go, man. You are competent, you are ambitious. That doesn't change because that's who you are. You choose who you are. You choose how you show up. And if you fall short under pressure, okay, that's fine. That means you just gotta increase your capacity. That means your body cannot handle it, so it causes you to shrink up. That's fine. But as you grow, your capacity to handle pressure grows. And then you're fine. Then you're not dealing with the fucking anxiety. Then you're not dealing with the overthinking, the nervous handshaking, like I used to. And that shit makes things way fucking easier. And this all comes from defining who you are. Choosing who you are. Don't look at other men. Who are you? When nobody's watching you, who are you? I'm the same man when nobody's watching me versus when someone is watching me. The only difference is that I might talk a little bit more. I don't feel like a fraud. Most days, I do everything I say I'm gonna do. Each thing that I work on is just an expression of who I am. But if it doesn't work out, there's many ways to skin a cat. And that's allowed me to handle more pressure. That's allowed me to trust myself more. That's allowed me to build my self-belief. My doubts are to a minimal. I don't have resistance to take actions because, last year what I really installed was I'm bold and I'm courageous. I'm bold. That means I'm not afraid to express how I actually feel, especially because I embrace a life of truth where I'm radically honest with myself. Another thing is, not only that, I'm courageous. That means I still show up even when I'm afraid, and I could tell myself I'm afraid without feeling ashamed. I could be real with myself. You know what? I am fucking scared. You know what, bro? I am scared to approach women. You know what, bro? I am scared. What if I become everything that I know I could be and I fall and I fell? I'll just get back up and do it again. Cause that doesn't change. I don't change. I do my best to show up the best I can every day. And I could live with that. And if I fall short, that's fine. As long as I continue to prove myself to the Most High, I don't see any reason to really try to play this character like most people are. I'm fucking real with y'all. I'm afraid most of the time just like y'all, but I don't let these fears cut me down because you know what? I've decided to be courageous. And the way I was able to make this shift was telling myself times where I survived despite being afraid. Not survived, but showed up. And then putting myself in those situations where I was afraid, but I still showed up as the man that I know I am. So it wasn't a lie. I didn't just tell myself like affirmations. I affirmed it to myself, and then I took the action that affirmed it. I made the fucking evidence. I created that motherfucker, bro. Choose who you're gonna be, and choose this day, man.